Before you spend another quarter, check it closely because some of the most overlooked coins in America are hiding in plain sight. In this video, we're counting down 20 state quarters and Washington quarters that collectors still search for because of rare errors, unusual die varieties, mint mark differences, striking problems, and exceptional condition. Some of these coins may look completely ordinary at first, but one tiny detail in the date, mint mark, lettering, rim, eagle, state design, or metal can completely change the story. And here's where most people get it wrong. A scratch is not automatically a die crack. Damage is not automatically a mint error. And an old quarter is not automatically valuable. The real money is in finding the right coin, right error, right diagnostic, and right condition. So grab your pocket change, coin jars, old rolls, and inherited collections and stay with me through the entire countdown. Because before we reach number 1, you'll see exactly why some collectors inspect quarters that millions of people would spend without a second thought. Let's start with coin number 20. Coins from the 1980s often circulated heavily, picked up scratches, lost their original luster, and became so familiar that most people stopped paying attention to them. That creates an interesting situation. When a 1984 P survives with an unusual mint-made characteristic, stronger than normal condition, or dramatic production error, it can separate itself quickly from the millions of ordinary examples people ignored. Begin with the P mint mark beside Washington's ponytail. Study its shape and the metal surrounding it. Then move down to the 1984 date and inspect all 4 digits. Look for anything that appears unusually thick, shifted, incomplete, or doubled. After that, examine In God We Trust and Liberty. Small lettering can sometimes reveal die characteristics more clearly than the portrait itself, but one unusual-looking edge is not enough to prove a rare variety. That is where beginners get trapped. A heavily circulated quarter can accumulate scratches, dents, stains, corrosion, and flattened metal. A hit near the mint mark can distort the P. Machine-related damage can create a second-looking edge around letters. A scratch can imitate a die crack. The feature has to make sense as something created during the minting process, not something that happened years later. Now inspect Washington's portrait. Study the hair, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open fields around the face. Condition can become extremely important. 2 1984 P quarters may carry the exact same date and mint mark, yet one can be heavily worn while another retains much sharper detail, cleaner fields, and stronger original luster. Then turn the coin over and inspect the eagle reverse. Look at the eagle's wings, breast, legs, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America and quarter dollar. Pay special attention to anything that appears missing, distorted, shifted, or unusually weak. This is where the big money possibility enters the story. A normal circulated 1984 P Washington quarter is not automatically valuable, but a major authenticated mint error, wrong-planchet strike, dramatic off-center strike, significant die variety, or exceptional high-grade survivor can move a quarter from 25 cents into hundreds or thousands of dollars. Extremely unusual production errors across the Washington quarter series can reach even stronger collector territory. The critical phrase is the right coin. Not every 1984 P. Not every strange mark. The right error, right diagnostic, and right condition. Tilt the quarter slowly beneath a strong light and watch the edges of the date, P mint mark, and lettering. If a suspicious feature remains consistent from several angles, it deserves closer examination. And if something looks unusual, do not clean the coin. Do not polish it. Do not scrape around the mint mark. Do not use chemicals trying to improve the surface. So whenever you find a 1984 P Washington quarter, check the P mint mark, inspect the 1984 date, study the lettering, examine Washington's portrait, and turn the coin over to inspect the eagle A&D rim. Because sometimes a quarter everyone considers ordinary becomes interesting for one reason. Something about the way it was beneath a wide western sky may look like nothing more than an attractive state quarter design, but the 2006 North Dakota quarter gives coin hunters several reasons to slow down. This is exactly the kind of modern quarter people assume cannot be valuable because it is not especially old. That assumption is dangerous. Modern U.S. quarters can become far more interesting when a genuine mint error, unusual strike, planch problem, or important die characteristic appears. And with the North Dakota design, there are several large areas where an unusual production feature can become easy to spot once you know where to look. Begin with the two buffalo in the center of the reverse. Study the outlines of their bodies, legs, heads, and the open spaces around them. Then inspect the sun, the landscape, and the surrounding lettering. Look carefully at North Dakota 1889, 2006, and E pluribus unum. Anything that looks doubled, unusually thick, incomplete, shifted, or distorted deserves a second look, but do not automatically call it rare. Circulation wear, scratches, hits, and lighting can create false impressions. Now, move to the rim. Follow it all the way around the quarter. This is where a dramatic off-center strike, broad strike, clipping issue, or another major production anomaly could become much easier to recognize. A genuine striking error should affect the design in a logical way. Random damage after the coin left the mint usually tells a different story. This is where the big money possibility becomes exciting. A normal 2006 North Dakota quarter may simply be a piece of pocket change, but a dramatic, genuine mint error can move a modern quarter into hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on exactly what happened. Extreme wrong-planchet or major striking errors across modern U.S. coinage can enter even stronger collector territory. The critical point is that the value comes from the exact error, not simply because the coin says North Dakota. And because the supplied image shows the reverse only, there is another important step. Turn your own coin over and check the mint mark on the obverse. A P or D alone does not create a jackpot, but identifying the mint is essential when comparing varieties and documented errors. Now examine the surface under changing light. Tilt the quarter slowly and watch the shadows around the buffalo, lettering, and rim. A real die-related characteristic should remain part of the design as the lighting changes. A reflection or surface scrape may suddenly reveal itself. If you find something unusual, do not clean the coin. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals. Original surfaces can become extremely important when a coin turns out to have a legitimate collector feature. So, whenever you find a 2006 North Dakota state quarter, do not let the modern date fool you. Check the buffalo, inspect the lettering, study the rim, look for unusual strike characteristics, and turn the coin over to identify the mint mark. Because the quarter people D. Washington quarter is exactly the kind of coin most people would never expect to become interesting. It is not extremely old, it circulated heavily, and millions of Americans have handled quarters from this era without ever checking them closely. But collectors do not judge a coin by age alone. They look for the right mint mark, unusual die characteristics, major strike errors, unexpected planchet problems, and exceptional preservation. That means the real question is not simply whether you have a 1980 D quarter. The real question is whether your coin has something the ordinary examples do not. Start with the small D mint mark beside Washington's ponytail. Study its shape, position, and the surrounding metal. Then move down to the 1980 date and inspect every digit carefully. Look for unusual thickness, separation, distortion, or anything that appears inconsistent with the rest of the design. After that, move to In God We Trust and then Liberty. These smaller design elements can sometimes reveal suspicious die characteristics more clearly than the larger portrait. But this is also where circulation damage creates false excitement. A hit near the D can distort the mint mark. Flattened metal can imitate doubling. A scratch can resemble a die crack. Environmental staining can make the surface look dramatically different. That does not automatically create a rare variety. A genuine mint-made characteristic should fit logically with how the coin was produced. Now examine Washington's portrait. Look closely at the hair, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open fields surrounding the face. This is where condition begins to matter. A heavily circulated 1980D quarter may show weak details and many contact marks, while a much sharper survivor can retain stronger luster, cleaner fields, and more defined design elements. When a legitimate production feature combines with exceptional preservation, collector interest can rise much faster. Then flip the quarter over and inspect the eagle reverse. Study the eagle's wings, breast, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America and quarter dollar. Look for anything unusually weak, incomplete, doubled, shifted, or distorted. Also follow the rim around the entire reverse. A genuine off-center strike, broad strike, clipped planchet, or other major striking problem often affects more than one area of the coin. This is where the big money possibility becomes exciting. A normal circulated 1980D Washington quarter may remain close to face value, but the right major mint error, wrong planchet strike, dramatic striking anomaly, significant die variety, or extreme high-grade survivor can move a quarter into hundreds or thousands of dollars. The strongest Washington quarter errors can enter even higher collector territory when the exact rarity supports it. But remember the rule: the date alone does not create the value. The money comes from the right error, right diagnostic, right condition, and right coin. Tilt the quarter slowly under strong light. Watch the edges of the D mint mark, date, lettering, and rim. If a suspicious feature remains consistent from several angles, it deserves closer study. And if something looks unusual, do not clean it. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals trying to improve the surface. Original surfaces can become extremely important if the coin turns out to be collectible. So whenever you find a 1980D Washington quarter, check the D mint mark, inspect the 1980 date, study In God We Trust, examine Washington's portrait, and flip the coin over to inspect the eagle rim AND surfaces. Because sometimes a modern-looking quarter becomes interesting for one simple reason: the mint did something different A&D almost nobody noticed. 2000 Virginia State Quarter, one of the most recognizable designs in the entire State Quarter series. But that familiar artwork can actually make people less careful. Most viewers see the ships, read Virginia, and move on. A collector looks at the same coin and asks a completely different question: are all of these design elements struck the way they are supposed to be? That is where this quarter becomes interesting, because a genuine die variety, striking error, or unusual production characteristic can hide inside a design filled with small lines, sails, lettering, and open areas. Begin with the three ships in the center of the reverse. Inspect the sails, masts, hulls, and the water beneath them. Because the design contains so many narrow lines, this is exactly the kind of coin where damage or wear can fool the eye. A scratch across a sail can look like an extra design line. Flattened metal around a mast can resemble doubling. A hit from another coin can make part of the ship appear broken or missing. That is why you should compare several areas before deciding that something unusual is a genuine mint-made feature. Next, inspect the lettering. Look closely at Virginia, the date 1788, the Jamestown 1607-2007 inscription, quadricentennial, and the 2000 date near the bottom. If you see unusual thickness, duplicated edges, incomplete letters, or distortion, change the lighting and look again. Genuine die-related characteristics should remain consistent with the design, while reflections, scratches, and circulation damage can change dramatically as the coin is tilted. Now examine the rim all the way around. A major off-center strike, broad strike, clipped planchet, or another striking anomaly can become especially obvious when the rim and lettering no longer align normally. But again, ordinary edge damage should not be confused with a real mint error. A genuine production problem usually affects more than one part of the coin in a logical way. This is where the big value possibility enters the story. A normal circulated 2000 Virginia quarter may stay close to face value, but a dramatic authenticated error can move a modern state quarter into hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the exact type, severity, and rarity. Major wrong-planchet, striking, or die errors can push collector interest even higher. The key is that the value belongs to the exact error, not simply to every Virginia quarter from 2000. And because the supplied image shows the reverse side, you still need to turn your own coin over and identify the mint mark on the obverse. Knowing whether the coin came from Philadelphia or Denver is important when comparing known varieties and unusual production characteristics. Never guess the mint from the reverse alone. Also pay attention to the surface quality. Strong original luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks can matter on modern coins, especially when collectors compete for unusually well-preserved examples. A heavily circulated quarter and a sharply preserved example of the same date can have completely different appeal. If you find something suspicious, do not clean it. Do not polish the ships, rub the lettering, or use chemicals trying to reveal more detail. Original surfaces can become very important if the coin turns out to be collectible. So whenever you find a 2000 Virginia State quarter, do not just admire the design. Check the ships, inspect the lettering, follow the rim. Study the surfaces, and turn the coin over to identify the mint mark. Because sometimes the difference between 25 cents and a serious color for decades, because nothing about the date immediately screams rarity. But that is exactly why collectors slow down when they find one with an unusual strike, suspicious die characteristic, abnormal planchet, or exceptionally strong preservation. With this date, the real opportunity is not simply owning a quarter from 1974, it is finding the right version of that quarter. Start with the 1974 date at the bottom of Washington's portrait. Examine all 4 digits carefully. Look for unusual thickness, separation, distortion, or doubling around the edges. Then move to In God We Trust and inspect each letter under strong light. After that, study Liberty across the top. Small lettering can sometimes reveal die-related abnormalities more clearly than the larger portrait, but remember that ordinary scratches, flattened metal, and circulation damage can create very convincing false alarms. Now inspect the area beside Washington's ponytail for the mint mark. Depending on the exact issue, identifying the mint is essential before comparing your coin with known varieties or collector populations. A strange-looking mint mark should not automatically be called rare. A hit from another coin, corrosion, or surface damage can distort the letter enough to make it look dramatically different from its original shape. Next, focus on Washington's portrait. Examine the hair, cheek, jaw, neck, and the large open fields around the face. These areas tell you a lot about condition. A heavily circulated 1974 quarter may show flattened details and numerous contact marks, while a sharper survivor can retain much more definition and original luster. 2 coins with the same date can have completely different collector appeal simply because one survived far better. Then flip the coin over and study the eagle reverse. Look at the wings, breast, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America and quarter dollar. Follow the rim around the entire coin. A major off-center strike, clipped planchet, broadstrike, or another genuine production problem usually affects the design in a consistent way rather than appearing as one random damaged spot. This is where the big money possibility comes into play. A normal circulated 1974 Washington quarter is not automatically valuable, but a dramatic authenticated mint error, unusual planchet strike, significant die variety, or exceptionally high-grade survivor can move a coin into hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the exact rarity and condition. The important part is that the value comes from the error or exceptional specimen, not simply from the 1974 date. Be careful with anything that looks dramatic. A scratch can resemble a die crack. Machine damage can imitate doubling. Corrosion can make letters appear missing. The feature has to make sense as part of the original minting process. And if you see something unusual, do not clean it. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals. Original surfaces can become extremely important once a coin enters serious collector territory. So whenever you find a 1974 Washington quarter, check the date, identify the mint mark, inspect In God We Trust, study Washington's portrait, and turn the coin over to examine the eagle rim and surfaces. Because sometimes the quarter that looks completely ordinary, Connecticut State quarter, can fool you because the reverse looks simple at first: one large tree, a few lines of lettering, and plenty of open space. But that simplicity actually makes this coin easier to inspect. When a design has one dominant feature, even a small production anomaly can stand out quickly. That is why collectors pay close attention to the charter oak, the branches, the trunk, the lettering, and the rim. If the right die, characteristic, strike error, or unusual production feature appears, a quarter that looks ordinary can move into a completely different collector category. Start with the charter oak tree in the center of the reverse. Look closely at the branches, especially the thin outer limbs near the edges of the design. Then inspect the thicker center branches and the trunk. If you notice a raised line, an extra-looking branch, unusual thickness, or a feature that seems repeated, do not assume immediately that you have found a rare error. Circulation damage, scratches, contact marks, and lighting can all make the tree look more complicated than it really is. The feature has to appear like it was created during the minting process. Next, inspect the lettering around the design. Look carefully at Connecticut 1788, the Charter Oak 1999, and E Pluribus Unum. Pay attention to the edges of the letters and numbers. If something looks doubled, shifted, incomplete, or unusually thick, rotate the quarter under a strong light and inspect it from several angles. A genuine die-related characteristic should remain part of the design, while a scratch or reflection can change dramatically as the lighting moves. Now, move to the rim. Follow it around the entire quarter. Look for areas where the rim appears unusually narrow, missing, flattened, or inconsistent with the rest of the coin. A dramatic off-center strike, clipped planchet, broad strike, or another major production anomaly can create immediate collector interest. But random edge damage after the coin left the mint can create similar-looking shapes, so the entire design has to support the error story. This is where the big money possibility gets interesting. A normal circulated 1999 Connecticut quarter may remain close to face value, but a genuine dramatic mint error can move a state quarter into hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on the exact error, rarity, and condition. Extreme wrong-planchet or striking errors can push collector interest even higher. The important point is that the money comes from the right error, not simply because the coin carries the 1999 Connecticut design. Condition can also matter. A quarter with strong original luster, sharp tree details, clean fields, and minimal contact marks can attract more attention than a heavily circulated example. Modern quarters may seem easy to find, but truly exceptional preservation can be much harder than most people expect. And remember, the supplied image shows the reverse side only. To identify the exact mint, turn your own coin over and check the mint mark on the obverse. Do not guess Philadelphia or Denver from the reverse. If you notice anything unusual, do not clean the coin. Do not polish the tree, scrape the branches, or use chemicals trying to make the details sharper. Original surfaces can be very important when a coin turns out to have a legitimate collector feature. So whenever you find a 1999 Connecticut State quarter, inspect the charter oak. Study the branch's and trunk, check the lettering, follow the rim, and turn the coin over to identify the mint mark. Because sometimes the detail that changes the story is not hidden in a tiny corner. Sometimes it is sitting right in the middle of the tree. Quarter may look like nothing more than an older piece of pocket change. But this is exactly the kind of date collectors can overlook, because the real value story is rarely printed clearly on the surface. The year itself does not automatically make the coin rare. What matters is whether that particular quarter carries the right die characteristic, an unusual strike, a legitimate planchet error, or survives in a level of condition that separates it from the thousands of worn examples still sitting in old jars and collections. Start with the 1969 date beneath Washington's portrait. Look carefully at all 4 digits. Inspect the edges of the numbers for unusual thickness, separation, shifting, or anything that appears repeated. Then move to In God We Trust and study each letter individually. After that, examine Liberty around the upper rim. These areas deserve close attention because small die abnormalities can sometimes become easier to see around letters and numbers than across the larger portrait. But this is also where old circulation damage can fool you. A scratch can resemble a die crack. Flattened metal can imitate doubling. Corrosion can make parts of a letter seem missing. And a strong contact mark can distort a design element enough to look like something dramatic under magnification. That is why a genuine mint-made feature has to fit logically with the way the coin was struck. Now study Washington's portrait. Look at the hair, forehead, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open fields around the face. The amount of remaining detail can tell you a great deal about the coin's condition. Many 1969 quarters spent years circulating, so an unusually sharp example with stronger original surfaces can immediately become more interesting than an average worn coin. Then, turn the quarter over and inspect the eagle reverse. Study the wings, breast, legs, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. Follow the rim all the way around. Look for anything that seems off-center, unusually weak, clipped, distorted, or affected by abnormal metal flow. This is where the big money possibility comes into the picture. A typical circulated 1969 Washington quarter may remain close to face value, but a dramatic authenticated mint error, wrong-planchet strike, significant die variety, or exceptional high-grade survivor can move the discussion into hundreds or thousands of dollars. More extreme Washington quarter errors can command even stronger collector attention when the exact diagnostic and rarities support it. The important distinction is simple: 1969 is only the starting point. The serious value comes from the right error, right diagnostic, right strike, and right condition. Tilt the quarter under strong light and examine the date, lettering, rim, and reverse from several angles. If an unusual feature remains consistent, it deserves a closer look. And whatever you find, do not clean it. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals to improve the appearance. Original surfaces can become extremely important if the coin actually has collector significance. So whenever a 1969 Washington quarter appears in an old roll, drawer, collection, or pocket change, do not simply read the date and move on. Check the 1969 date. Inspect the lettering. Study Washington's portrait. Examine the eagle reverse. Follow the rim. 9 Delaware state quarter carries one of the most recognizable early state quarter designs, and that is exactly why collectors should not rush past it. The horse and rider in the center look simple enough, but the design contains several areas where die characteristics, strike problems, and genuine mint errors can become easier to spot. The key is not simply seeing something unusual. The key is deciding whether that unusual feature was created at the mint or added later by circulation damage. Begin with Caesar Rodney and the horse in the center of the reverse. Look carefully at the horse's legs, body, tail, and the rider's outline. Pay special attention to any area that appears doubled, unusually thick, missing, distorted, or shifted. Then inspect the lettering around the design, including Delaware, 1787, the first state, 1999, and E pluribus unum. Compare the edges of the letters and numbers. A genuine die-related feature should look consistent with the way the design was struck, while scratches, dents, and circulation marks can create random shapes that disappear or change under different lighting. Now move to the rim. Follow it all the way around the coin. Look for anything that appears unusually narrow, incomplete, clipped, or off-center. A dramatic off-center strike, clip planchet, broad strike, or another major striking error can instantly push a coin into a different collector category. But normal edge damage can imitate these problems, so the rest of the design has to support the same production story. This is where the big money possibility becomes exciting. A standard circulated 1999 Delaware quarter may remain close to face value, but a genuine dramatic mint error can move a state quarter into hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on the exact type, rarity, and condition. Major wrong-planchet or severe striking errors can attract even stronger collector interest. The date alone does not create the money. The value comes from the right error, right diagnostic, and right condition. Condition can also change the story. Look at the open fields around the horse and rider. Strong original luster, clean surfaces, sharp detail, and minimal contact marks can make one example much more appealing than another. Two Delaware quarters with the exact same reverse design can look completely different under magnification. And remember, the supplied image shows the reverse side only. To identify the exact mint, turn your own coin over and check the mint mark on the obverse. Do not assume Philadelphia or Denver from the reverse alone. If you find something unusual, do not clean the coin. Do not polish the horse, scrape the lettering, or use chemicals. Original surfaces can become very important if the coin turns out to have a legitimate collector feature. So whenever you find a 1999 Delaware State quarter, inspect the horse and rider, check the lettering, follow the rim, examine the surfaces, and turn the coin over to identify the mint mark. Because sometimes the detail that changes the collector story is hiding in a design millions of people have seen, but almost nobody has actually studied. Deserves the #1 position in this countdown because this date comes from a very unusual period in modern U.S. coinage. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary worn quarter with no mint mark, but that absence is actually normal for this year. During this period, quarters were produced without mint marks, which means the real hunt is not about finding a tiny P, D, or S beside Washington's portrait. Instead, collectors focus much more closely on the strike, planchet, die characteristics, condition, and any genuine mint-made error that could separate one 1967 quarter from another. Start with the 1967 date at the bottom of the obverse. Examine all 4 digits carefully. Look for unusual thickness, shifting, separation, or distorted edges. Then move to In God We Trust and inspect the lettering under strong light. After that, study Liberty around the upper rim. Small lettering and numbers can sometimes reveal suspicious die characteristics more clearly than the larger portrait, but one unusual-looking edge does not automatically mean you have discovered something rare. Now examine Washington's portrait. Look carefully at the hair, forehead, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open field surrounding the face. On circulated quarters, scratches and contact marks can create shapes that look dramatic under magnification. A scratch can imitate a die crack. Flattened metal can resemble doubling. Corrosion or environmental damage can make part of a letter appear missing. The important question is always whether the feature makes sense as something created during the minting process. Then turn the quarter over and inspect the eagle reverse. Study the eagle's wings, breast, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. Follow the rim around the entire coin. Look for an unusual offset, missing design area, abnormal rim width, strange metal flow, or anything suggesting a genuine off-center strike, clipped planchet, broad strike, or another production anomaly. This is where the big money possibility becomes especially interesting. A normal circulated 1967 Washington quarter is not automatically a jackpot, but a dramatic, genuine mint error. Unusual planchet strike, significant die variety, or exceptional high-grade survivor can move the coin far beyond 25 cents. The right error can enter hundreds or thousands of dollars, and major Washington quarter production mistakes can command even stronger collector attention when the exact rarity and diagnostics support it. And because 1967 quarters normally do not carry a mint mark, do not assume a missing mint mark is an error. That is one of the easiest mistakes beginners can make with this date. Instead, focus on what actually matters: the metal, the strike, the die details, the rim, the condition. Tilt the quarter slowly under strong light and inspect both sides from several angles. If something looks raised, doubled, shifted, or unusually struck, compare it with the rest of the coin before reaching a conclusion. And if you think you have found something important, Do not clean it. Do not polish the surface, scrape the lettering, or use chemicals. Original surfaces can become extremely important when a coin turns out to have genuine collector significance. So whenever you find a 1967 Washington quarter, check the 1967 date, inspect In God We Trust, study Washington's portrait, examine the eagle reverse, follow the rim, and remember that the lack of a mint mark is expected. Because with this coin, the valuable clue may not be a letter that is missing. It may be a mint-made detail almost everyone else failed to notice. State quarter may be the final coin in this countdown, but it is also one of the best examples of why state quarters should never be judged by the state name alone. The reverse looks familiar. A large peach, the outline of Georgia, 2 branches, and a banner carrying the words wisdom, justice, moderation. Most people see that design and move on. A collector looks at the same coin and starts asking a different set of questions. Are the design elements complete? Is the strike centered correctly? Is there unusual doubling, missing detail, abnormal metal flow, or another genuine mint-made characteristic hiding inside the design? Begin with the peach in the center. Look carefully at the outline, the stem, the leaves, and the surrounding state shape. Then inspect the banner and the words wisdom, justice, moderation. These narrow letters and design lines can be useful because scratches, flattened metal, and circulation damage can easily imitate something more exciting. A genuine die-related feature should look like part of the original design, not like random damage added later. Next, inspect the lettering at the top and bottom. Look closely at Georgia, 1788, 1999, and E pluribus unum. Pay attention to any repeated edges, unusual thickness, missing portions, or shifted-looking details. If something seems doubled, tilt the coin slowly under a strong light and compare the same area from several angles. A true die characteristic will remain consistent, while reflections and surface marks can change dramatically. Now follow the rim all the way around the quarter. A genuine off-center strike, clipped planchet, broad strike, or another major production error can alter the relationship between the rim and the design. If the coin shows unusual spacing or missing design elements near one edge, compare the entire piece before assuming it is a mint error. Post-mint damage can create convincing false positives. This is where the big money possibility comes into the story. A normal circulated 1999 Georgia quarter may stay close to face value, but a legitimate dramatic mint error can move a state quarter into hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on exactly what happened, how rare the error is, and how well the coin survived. Major wrong-planchet or severe striking errors can attract even stronger collector attention. The important point is that the money comes from the right error, not simply because the coin is a 1999 Georgia quarter. Condition also matters. Inspect the open fields around the peach and banner. Look for original luster, sharp edges, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks. 2 Georgia quarters with the same reverse design can have completely different collector appeal if one is heavily circulated and the other survives with unusually strong detail. And because the supplied photo shows the reverse side only, you still need to turn your own coin over and check the mint mark on the obverse. Do not guess Philadelphia or Denver from the reverse. If you find something unusual, do not clean it. Do not polish the peach, scrape the lettering, or use chemicals. Original surfaces can be extremely important if the coin turns out to have a legitimate variety or error. So whenever you find a 1999 Georgia state quarter, inspect the peach, the state outline, the banner, the lettering, the rim, and the surfaces. Then turn the coin over and identify the mint mark. Because sometimes the quarter that looks completely familiar is the one that deserves the closest inspection. And that is exactly why collectors keep checking state quarters instead of spending them blindly.